What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. The boy Ryan LFC back again, guys. I need a top shelf video for you guys today. I have a special guest on the channel today, Conroy from Scotland. He know everything about the Scotland national team. They haven't been qualified for a major tournament for 22 years. So this is their big opportunity to do something. Especially we have the Europe coming up and then the World Cup qualifier coming up. So, how are you doing first and foremost, Conroy?
Doing good, mate. Thanks for having me on. Buzzing to be here. No, it's great to chat about Scotland. Not many people want to chat about it, Ryan. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Definitely. We always want to try to do something different. Everyone want to talk about the England. What about Scotland? They have a Liverpool player on it. Why not? They have an
Yeah,
Arsenal player on it. They have a Sheffield United player on it. They have some very good players. It's a very good nation, so they deserve to get a lot of credit, especially qualify for the Euro. So I am shining a little bit of light on the Scotland team.
I appreciate it, mate. Much appreciated.
So how is the family doing? First and foremost, before we get into the video.
Yeah, good, mate. Just getting by. I know it's tough times now, but hopefully it's getting better and eventually the restrictions will be lifted. But we're getting by. We're doing okay. Just one day at a time, but we'll get there. How's your family?
My family is doing okay. Can't complain. We have life, wife, kids, everybody all right. I have to just give thanks and be
Glad to hear.
safe in this difficult time.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course. Glad to hear.
So my first question to you, Conroy. The Scotland team qualified for a major tournament. 22 years, as I said in the intro. They qualify and penalty shootout. How good is the Scotland team?
See, to be honest, Ryan, see in the last, say, 20 years, but say maybe the last 5 to 7 years, Scotland they've had the option of much better players in the sense of they've had players playing in the Premier League quite a lot, but they've just never failed to find a system that worked or got the best out of the team. But this current Scotland team, the difference we've got is we tend to focus on see the players who are in form. Ryan, we're concentrating on them, like they get an opportunity, and then we've got a system that suits our players. So what I mean by that, Ryan, is see Kieran Tierney plays at Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
So you've got Tierney at Arsenal, and you've got Andy Robertson at Liverpool, obviously. Now they're both left backs, and we've tried stuff in the past where we had you have to play both of them because they're probably our two best players. So in the past we've had Tierney at right back and Andy Robertson at left back in a 4-3-3. That was okay for a bit, but because Tierney is left-footed, eventually you can get found out having him play at right back. So what Steve Clarke, the Scotland manager, has done is he's changed it to it's equivalently it's a 4-3-3, but basically it's a 4-3-1-2. And by doing that, he puts Tierney at left centre back and then puts Andy Robertson at left wing back. So therefore, you're getting the best. You can play both of them, and it works because Kieran Tierney is a much better defender in the sense of centrally. Like they're both good defenders, but Tierney, I'd say, can play centre back where Andy Robertson couldn't play centre back. Robertson's better in my opinion. Anyway, he's a better left back, but Tierney's played at centre back before and he can do it again. So by playing that, you can play both of them and it brings their talents to the team. So by doing that, the team's evolved. And so we didn't just decide one day to play a three at the back, Ryan. We played this for about, I'd say 7 to 8 matches, and not every one of those matches it was working well, but the manager stuck with it and eventually it started to work out now. So that's one of the strengths of the Scotland team.
Definitely. Because you have the two best left back in the Premier League. Hands down. No doubt about that. Don't tell me nothing about Ben Chilwell. Don't tell me nothing about Mendy. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear Andrew Robertson and I want to hear the former Celtics captain Tierney.
Yeah, Tierney has been good this season. He has been very good. He has been very good this season.
You're going to be a leader. You will definitely captain this Arsenal team in the future. He's a future captain for Arsenal.
That's maybe shows you how bad Arsenal have been ran in the last couple of years, in the sense of a person who's been there for about a year and a half. It should be their captain. But Tierney is good. Tierney is a good player. he can play centre back, so that's why I think he'll play centre back for Scotland. And Robertson, as you know, Robertson can get up and down for 90 minutes, no bother. So I think he'll be at left back, and he's obviously Scotland's captain as well.
Definitely. Let's jump into the mission we're here for. What is Scotland best 11?
Best 11. You know, it's actually thanks for asking, Ryan. I was preparing this earlier, and I thought this will be easy. It'll be no bother, and I've wrote the team down. But I don't know if you heard, but last week, Ryan, no, it was last week. Do you know Southampton striker Che Adams?
Yeah, get called up.
He's now, so Steve Clarke spoke to Che Adams, and they got agreement that Che Adams will play for Scotland. Now that's very good for Scotland because he's been in good form for Southampton. He scored 7 goals. I think he's got 3 assists this season. Looks quite good, Premier League standard. Now that changes things because it gives us another option, which is fantastic. You know, a Premier League striker is brilliant. So after that happened, I was writing my team earlier, and I wasn't sure, to be honest, mate. But I've made a decision, and I'm going to go for the players that I've got as there. So I'd say at the moment, Che Adams wouldn't start. That might change for these World Cup qualifiers, but I'm just going to stick with the team that's got us here. So I'd say the best 11 would be, and if you don't know who these players are, Ryan, I can tell you who they play for because you might not know them all. So David Marshall in goals, he's the goalkeeper. Now people might not be aware, they might be aware, but Alan McGregor, who plays for Steven Gerrard's Rangers, he's retired from international football. He's a brilliant goalkeeper, but he retired about a year ago. So David Marshall is the person who saved the penalty against Serbia, and he plays for Derby County. And to be fair, he's been pretty solid for Scotland in the qualifying campaign. So he'd be our goalkeeper. The formation, as I said, it would be a three centre backs. So it would be goalkeeper and then 3 centre backs. Those 3 would be Scott McTominay, plays centre back for Scotland. He'd be the right centre back. The the middle centre back would be a person called Declan Gallagher. He plays for Motherwell in Scotland, but he is a very, very good centre back. He started his career off at Celtic in the youth academy. He actually had a bit of troubles in the past, prison, etc. But he's kind of came out of that and improved his life and focused on getting better. He's actually been brilliant in the qualifying campaign. He's starred. He went from a low league Scotland team, Ryan, and he got one chance, and he's been able to stay in the team since then. And then our third centre back would be Kieran Tierney. Then you have the 4 in midfield, which would be Andy Robertson, left wing back, Stephen O'Donnell, right wing back. He plays for Motherwell. And then the 2 midfielders would be Ryan Jack, who plays for Rangers, and Callum McGregor, who plays for Celtic. Then you would have the front 3 would be, which is what it's kind of a strange system, Ryan. So say it's a 3-4, but then it's like a number 10, and then you have, so it's a number 10 and then 2, but the 2 aren't like a normal 2 strikers. You've got one striker, and then you've got the second striker who drops behind him. So you've got John McGinn, who plays for Aston Villa, is the kind of number 10 type of position. And then you've got Ryan Christie, who sits behind the striker. And the striker is Lyndon Dykes, who plays for Queen's Park Rangers, Ryan. He's Australian born. He's actually been genuinely, mate, you talk about the best player. He's probably been Scotland's best player in the last 5 matches he's played. He's been very good. He looks like just a big striker, but he's actually got a good touch. He's very good at holding the ball, very good at link-up. He played very well against Serbia. He also scored the winner against a game previous as well. So he's actually been very, very important to Scotland, and he's kind of been like a diamond in the rough. He played for Livingston in Scotland, got a move to Queen's Park Rangers, and he's been very good. So that would be my 11 at the moment, mate. But it might change, and there's a few other players I wanted to mention that you might know who could get in that. But I'll let you speak first.
Yeah, it's a very solid level. You guys has been playing the same system, and that's what
Yeah.
the thing is. When Jurgen Klopp came at Liverpool, he came under a lot of pressure, and to see a different international coach going through the same thing, stick with it. Although sometimes it going bad, he believe in the system, he believe in the philosophy, and to see him stick to it and it really pay off for the Scotland team. So for me, is always room for improvement. Always room for more player coming to the Scotland team and make it difficult for other player. That's what we need, and that's what we need more consistent from the Scotland national team. So yeah, but Conroy, that's your best 11 for the Scotland
Yeah,
national team.
but I wanted
It
to
can
mention
change. It
I
can
wanted to
change
mention a
anything.
few to you that you might know that you think should get in because, as we said, this is more a system that's worked for Scotland, whereas there might be some individual players. So I just wanted to tell you these, Ryan. So Stuart Armstrong, who plays for Southampton, he's a good player. He usually comes off the bench. Ryan Fraser, who plays for Newcastle, he's been injured quite a lot. That's why he's not been in the team. He's also a very good player. As previously we mentioned, Che Adams will be on the bench as well. James Forrest would have been in that team, but he's been injured most of the season. He plays for Celtic, but he's been injured, so that's why he'll probably be in the bench. Also, Billy Gilmore, who plays for Chelsea, a lot of Chelsea fans will be talking about him. Unfortunately, he's not played any first team games, so he can't get in the team. He's not played any games for Chelsea, so they're maybe the shout outs, I'd say, who maybe be unfortunate not to get in the team now. But as I said, that system's been good, mate, so you need to stick by it.
Well, in naming these players we can't even get into the starting lineup. So that simply means you guys have a very good deep squad. If you have a player like Gilmore play for Chelsea last season, he have a fantastic time for Chelsea. Just pick up injury. I
Yeah,
think that's why I'm not getting in the first team game, especially on the Lampard earlier on this season. Now the new manager, it's going to be difficult for
it will be
Gilmore to play.
difficult. Yeah,
But Armstrong from Southampton, he's a very good player. And
very
you
good
see,
player.
you
Yeah,
have quality player like that, not in the starting level. That going to give you strength and
in depth. Yeah.
awareness. That's when team need to change or someone to come off the bench and give you guys something different. You have a strong team. So I think fairly, you guys have to continue work with the system has been working for you, and then, you know, if you guys want to change things at halftime or change anything, it's always good to have super player on the bench to make an impact when they came on.
Yeah, mate. And the thing is, as well, another few just to let you know, because there might be some people in the chat saying different players. Liam Cooper, who plays for Leeds, he's injured. He might come into the back three. He's a good player. And also, you've got John Fleck, who plays for Sheffield United, and Kenny McLean, who plays for Norwich. And obviously, you've got McBurney for Sheffield United. However, some of those players haven't been in form, especially the Sheffield United players. So you can see why they might not be getting a start there now.
Definitely, definitely. But Conroy, if you guys make it to the World Cup or you guys make it to the Euro, on paper, if you to give me a 23-man squad, you think the coach probably pick with
Yeah.
everyone fit, everyone on farm. Can you give me that the 23-man squad?
I can, mate. I thought, but this was hard. This was difficult. It's not easy to make a 23-man squad. So the keepers are relatively quite straightforward because, as I said, a few good Scottish keepers have been retired, so it's not lots of competition. So our three goalkeepers would be Craig Gordon from Hearts. He used to play for Celtic and Sunderland, and he was good keeper in the Premier League. Unfortunately, got injured when he played for Sunderland, and he had to retire for a few years, but he came back out of retirement. David Marshall, as we mentioned, he'll be the starting goalkeeper, and this is the only argument. You've got John McLaughlin, who's Rangers' second goalkeeper, and he'll probably get chosen, but you do have a goalkeeper who played for Queen's Park Rangers last season, and now he's back at Motherwell in Scotland, called Liam Kelly. He was quite good, and he's been in good form, so he might get in. But I'd say the three, it won't be Liam Kelly. I think the three will be Craig Gordon, David Marshall, and John McLaughlin. Our defenders, the defenders would be, I've got them here, mate. Declan Gallagher, Liam Cooper, Scott McTominay, he would register as a defender for Scotland. Kieran Tierney, Andrew Robertson, Stephen O'Donnell, Andy Considine, I think would get in. Andy Considine plays for Aberdeen. I think he would get in, and it would be Liam Palmer as the spare right back from Sheffield Wednesday. Moving to our midfielders, I think the midfield would be Ryan Christie, John McGinn, Ryan Jack. I'll just get it here. Kenny McLean, Stuart Armstrong, John Fleck, and Callum McGregor. And I do think your Billy Gilmore's. I think Billy Gilmore will miss out, and there's another player from Celtic called David Turnbull. I think he'll miss out as well. So that's my midfielders, and I've done all the maths, so this should add up. And my forwards would be Dykes, Ryan Fraser, Lee Griffiths, Che Adams, and James Forrest. I think Ollie McBurney. I don't think Ollie McBurney will get picked for the Euros because he's not scored the goal this season. To be honest, I was stuck between him and Lee Griffiths for Celtic, but at least Lee Griffiths will bring Scotland a different dynamic. Whereas I think Che Adams is kind of similar to McBurney, if you know what I mean, and Lyndon Dykes is similar to McBurney. So you've got those two options. So I think Steve Clarke will pick Lee Griffiths instead of Ollie McBurney. So that's my 23-man squad.
Well, I was thinking about Ryan Fraser, and I said he didn't call him for midfield because he also can play midfield.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
was
yeah.
worried that you're not going to bring
No,
Ryan
no.
Fraser.
They usually, for some reason, I don't know why, but they always put him as a forward. Where they put, I think it's because they're playing wing backs, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think they put the wing backs in the defenders bit, so it's like the midfield is just full of centre midfielders, and there's no wingers because they put the wingers in the forwards. But yeah, I think that's what it would be, just on the basis of Scotland playing a free at the back. So I think I might be wrong. And there's a few shout outs, David Turnbull, Billy Gilmore, but I don't think they'll make it. Just Turnbull's been playing well for Celtic, but I just think Steve Clarke, the Scotland manager, will stick with the midfield that has got him to the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, you hear it from Conroy, one of the best when it come on to Scotland football, one of the best when it come on to analyze Liverpool too, and a lot of team in world football. So, viewers, leave your thought down in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button if you're near around here. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you go and check out Conroy channel. So, one love, Conroy. I really appreciate you coming on and share your thought on the Scotland national team.
Oh,
So,
thanks for having me, mate. Much appreciated. It's nice to talk about Scotland because no one wants to talk about Scotland. So thanks very much, mate.
yeah, definitely. No worry, man. No worry. Well,
Cheers,
thank you,
mate.
guys. Until next time, I'd like to say peace out.
Cheers, mate. Bye.